Hello, everyone. Welcome to Awkward Author. My name is Alyssa Grasso, and this is my weekly vlog slash podcast about my wonderfully awkward author life and just all that I've been up to over the past week. And I have still been working on getting both my thriller novel and novella ready for publication. I'm a lot further along than I was, but everything does seem to take a little bit or a lot longer than I thought it would take. It's just been a challenge. I spent all day yesterday working on stuff, and here was my plan for the day. I was gonna, in the morning, I was gonna take care of the book stuff. I was gonna get that all done, and then I was gonna work on other stuff that I had to work on in the afternoon. I spent all day working on the book stuff. I had to work on my other stuff at night, and I still am not really done with everything I wanted to get done yesterday as far as book stuff. I made a decision yesterday. This was probably around 5 o'clock when it was obvious that I was just spending too much time on stuff and not making the progress that I wanted to make. So I had originally thought that I was going to put out a regular print paperback and a large print paperback and actually do large print for both books, the novel and novella, and do them both on CreateSpace and also Barnes & Noble. And long story short is the large print ended up being way more of a hassle than I realized it would be. First of all, I thought that I could just do it in vellum, which turns out I can't. You can't do a large print in vellum because the highest... It's weird. The vellum software, I love it. It's wonderful for laying out a book, and I love it even more after my experiences of trying to do a large print without using vellum. But when you're setting the font size in vellum, they just have this slider bar, and you can't really tell what the point size is. I mean, the default is in the middle. You can make it smaller and you can make it bigger, but it doesn't actually tell you what the point size is. So I made it as big as I can make it to do the large print one. Well, when I got the proofs, I looked at it and I was like, oh, this isn't really large enough to be a large print book. I mean, it was definitely bigger than the regular print book, but it wasn't... a standard large print book is probably going to have a 16-point font or maybe even bigger depending on how the font comes out, because each font's a little different. But this was maybe 14 point, and even then it seemed kind of a small 14 point. Anyway, so there's no way to do it in vellum, and I actually even contacted them, and they're like, yeah, that's something in the works for later editions, but we don't have anything right now. So okay, so I can't do it in vellum, but I can at least get everything. I could take the vellum files and transfer that over to something else. And so I was trying to do it in Word, which I'm pretty sure I've done a book layout in Word before, way back when the first things, before even vellum existed or anything. And I remember being a pain, and this was even a bigger pain because it's a novel, and I wanted it to look like, the regular print edition, which looks really nice because I did it in vellum, and I was running into all these issues. So then I was like, well, I'll do it in Scrivener. I'll bring everything back over to Scrivener because you can export in Scrivener, and you have a lot of control over things. You can it's definitely a lot easier than trying to lay out a book in Word. It's not as easy as laying out a book in vellum, but it's somewhere in the middle. And so I did that. I did that for both books, and created a large print file and a PDF that I could upload to. I thought I could upload to Kindle and Barnes & Noble. Well, I didn't even try the Barnes & Noble, but yeah, and I had to make some changes to the large print cover, which I had uploaded before and didn't have a problem with. Well, for some reason, I don't know if it was the PDF from Scrivener. I don't know if it was the revised cover thing. First of all, it was taking forever, very long time for the files to upload to Kindle, way longer than it should have. And I mean, I tried this multiple times on multiple days. I actually started working on this last week on Friday, and And I was like, you know what, this is gonna have to wait because it's just not working right. And so I was trying it again yesterday, and I cannot get it to work. Like, I cannot get it to even get to the previewer without getting an error message. So I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know if it's that interior file. I don't know if it's the cover file that like worked before. I mean, there's just been some minor changes to it. I really don't know what the deal is. What I know is that I'm spending way too much time on it, and it's like, how many large print books am I actually going to sell? I have better ways to spend my time. So I'm not ruling out doing a large print book at some point, but it's not going to be part of the initial release because honestly, I've got other things I want to get done. I want to get all that done in time, and I just can't be wasting time on trying to do the large print books. And then the other thing that was causing me issues, it actually wasn't causing me issues yesterday, is I was having the hardest time getting into iTunes Producer to upload my books. I have a Mac. I've used it before when I put out Unnamed Roads. And my other books, so Popular, I used it for. No problem. Like, it worked fine. And so, obviously, there's been updates in the meantime and stuff like that. So when I was trying to use it, like last week or whenever that was, I couldn't even log in to the program. And so I was looking for help online, and, I tried all the things that people said to do, and they just weren't working. So I saw someone, I think it was on like the self-publishing formula Facebook group, had said, what worked for her was like deleting it and re-downloading it and doing that. So I did that. And then it still wasn't working. So I knew I was going to have a support call into Apple. This was like Friday, and I was like, it was like towards the end of the day Friday when I was getting to this, and I was like, you know what? I think that's going to wait till Monday. So I was planning on yesterday being on the phone with Apple support. And here's what's funny, guys, is like, I went like, let me just try to log in and I'll get the same error message I've been getting before. I went to go log in yesterday and it logged me in, no problem, and it worked fine, and I didn't do anything different. So I don't know why it worked yesterday and it didn't work any other day, but there you go. So if you're having problems, just try another day and maybe it'll work. That is my useless tech support for you. I really have no idea why it was like working yesterday, but it worked. So I got the ebooks uploaded for iBooks for the novel and novella, and so that's done. I think all the other ebook files are done. I've uploaded all the files for the print copies. I'm waiting on just like new proofs, because I want to, just double check them and see how those are. And then, everything is set. Everything will be ready to go, I hope. And what I have to get into next is the marketing, which is pretty important. So I'm not, saying that that's not important. But first, I got to make sure all the book stuff is set up. And I think I'm pretty much there. Just do like a few little odds and ends, and then we're done, finally. But it has been a long, long process, and like not as easy as I wanted it to be, definitely. But yeah, so no large print, just gonna put out regular print and ebook, and in a few different formats, and we'll see how that goes. So I will be letting you know more about that as we get closer. I've set October 11th as the release date, and I'll tell you more about that as we get there. So yeah, like I said, I think last week I am learning along the way. Like, next time I'm not going to set a release date for myself until I have all the stuff that I want to get done with the books done, because it's stressful having that deadline and, wanting to make sure you have everything set up in place in time, and then, things come up, and then it's like, oh, or there's just little issues like iTunes Producer not working, or, and that wasn't really the end of the world. I knew if like I couldn't for some reason get that to work, I could always use Draft to Digital and put them on that way. Thankfully, it randomly decided to work for me, so that's cool, but no explanation as for why it worked this week and not, why it worked yesterday and not like, 2 days before that. I couldn't tell you. Anyway, I have not been writing, really. I I began working on an outline, very, very early stages of an outline for the next novel I want to write, because I was like writing a little bit on it, and I was like, I keep writing stuff on it, but I don't actually have like an outline created. Like I have in my head an idea of how I want things to go, but that's not the same thing to me as having like an outline. And I'm glad that I began working on the outline when I did, because it's like, okay, I've already like written stuff that, I'm going to have to change. I can already see that as I'm like trying to like kind of plot things out and outline things like, this can't, I'm going to have to like, put this later, whatever, there's definitely stuff that like, I could see already. I'm creating problems for myself, with trying to get everything down on paper or digitally, whatever. Getting it down typewritten before I actually have a better, clearer picture of how the book has to go. It has to get laid out. So very early stages of outlining that. I mean, not even. I'm just kind of like sketching out like the character arcs basically and things like that. Because it does have a few different characters. I mean, there's one protagonist, but there's two other characters whose stories are going to be pretty, pretty central to the novel, and everything has to fit together and all that. So, yeah. So I'm not doing any writing on that, and I haven't really done any further writing of anything else, because I have been just working on this book layout and, readying this book for publication. So yeah, and I don't really like that schedule, like the schedule where I'm not like writing every day or just about every day, because I feel, I don't know, I'm happier when I'm creating new stuff, and I know you can't always be creating new stuff, but I think that schedule works better for me than this like crazy one I'm on now. So I am looking forward to being able to get back to that sort of schedule, even if I'm just outlining and not even like writing, just something where I feel like there's some forward momentum happening, there's some creation going on. I don't know, to me, that suits me a little better than this crazy, technical details and stuff like that. Dealing with that all day is a little too much for me. I mean, I know I have to deal with that, but maybe it doesn't have to be an all day thing, maybe a few hours here, a few hours there, I think would work a little bit better for me. I think I mentioned, maybe like 2-3 weeks ago, that my local library system, like the county library, is having like book fairs, author things, like 3 different ones at 3 different branches. And I had applied to it, and I actually thought like they were just going to accept authors for like one branch. So I put like my first choice and my second choice for it. And I just found out, that I got accepted for it, and I got accepted for 2 of them. So I think they're on consecutive weekends in November, Saturdays, I believe. So yeah, the one is I'm at the northeastern end of the county, and so this is like, the one is at the north central branch, I would say, and the other's at a central eastern branch. So basically almost the same distance from me. The one's maybe like, a few minutes closer. So not really a big deal there. Yeah, I've done a lot of like in-person author events in the past, and, book festivals and fairs and just book signings at bookstores and stuff like that. And they tend not to be like big money makers, but I do have, this thriller coming out. It's new. I would like to try to get the word out about it, and so this is just one avenue to do that, and because this isn't too far from me, isn't that big of a time commitment, that is why I'm going to do this. I don't expect to make a ton of money, just because I know, like, I've done these sort of things before. I know it's not like huge in terms of sales. And the other thing is that it is the library, and I mean, not that they're making any money from this, but I do like to support the different, events and programs that the library has, even though this isn't like technically my local library. It is part of the system that my library is part of. Okay, sorry guys, I don't know what just happened there, but it quit out on me. Anyway, I'm gonna do those book expos at the library. I don't know where I was, said that I was gonna support the library in my own little way, I guess. Anyway, so that's what I have. That's not until November, so I'll let you know more about that when that happens. And finally, this week, I do have my author income report for you. Don't get too excited, because it really hasn't been that exciting a month. I really have done nothing in terms of marketing this month. As you know, I've been busy trying to get these other books out. And once again, marketing has fallen by the wayside. So sales this month were okay. Nothing super exciting. All on Amazon. Okay, guys, sorry. I am now trying to finish this up on the iPad because I was filming on the phone and I don't know what was going on, but it kept quitting out on me, and I would just like to get this video made, and I don't usually film on here. So anyway, I'm just going to give you my author income report. I'm probably going to switch to slides anyway, so if this quits out, it won't matter. Well, it will, because I still need the audio. But anyway, guys, technical difficulties here, and that has been the theme this week. I mean, between iTunes Producer not working, between me not being able to get the large print books up. Anyway, I'll try to get through this quickly before this cuts out. So all the income that I made this month on books was all through Amazon, either through ebook sales, print book sales, or through Kindle Unlimited Reads. So total 76, I think. No, that's not correct. What am I saying? Kindle sales were $89.19. My CreateSpace sales, I believe, again, I'm not quite sure because things did get a little strange during the switchover, but I think my CreateSpace sales were $16.29, and then KU Reads were $12.51. So the total income from Amazon was $117.99. But I did spend some money on marketing. I do have some AMS ads that have been going, and so those are still going. That was a total of $6.66, appropriate, I guess, for Halloween and spookiness, I guess. I don't know. And then that BookBub, I ran this BookBub thing in August, but I paid for it in September, and that was when I was testing out some ads that not just testing out some ads, but just testing out ads in general in the BookBub advertising platform so that I'd be a little bit more ready when I launched this thriller to use some BookBub ads for that. And so on BookBub, I spent $18.31 in September for the ads that I ran in August. With my ad spend there, my total profit in September was $93.02 for the books that I sold. Now, I am not counting in this author income report, I'm not counting the expenses that are more, well, I won't even say they're general, because I have some editing expenses for the 2 books I have coming out, and as well as things like buying ISBN numbers and things like that. So, I'll probably have to do like an annual review that'll have a more specific look at, what I made as an author over the year, and I will include all the expenses in that. So that, guys, is what's going on. I do apologize for the wackiness this week, and I will hopefully get it all worked out for next week. I don't know, no guarantees, because who knows. Anyway, if you would like to know more about me, my name is Alyssa Grasso. You can visit my website at alyssagrasso.com. That's ALISSAGROSSO.com. And, in the meantime, subscribe if you enjoyed this. Give it a thumbs up. And again, like I said, hopefully we will not have any more technical difficulties next week, but I cannot guarantee you. I don't know. I think I'm like under a black cloud as far as technology stuff goes right now, but hopefully the cloud passes and things improve for me. Have a good week, guys. Keep it awkward. See you soon.